everybody, I'm Mishka and welcome back to my channel. Now, before we get started, I am really sorry that I haven't uploaded in over a week. Life got pretty busy, I had to make some calls, but yeah, I finally found the time to sit down and record and have fun with, our life beginnings and always and all that. But before we get started, make sure to subscribe and share this video with your friends so they can find out about my amazing challenges I got right now. So yeah, let's get into it. I hope you enjoy. Alright, so we left off with us reuniting with 𝐳∨ after oh my god, how long? 3 steps? It was a while. And with that, the 4 of you head out into the neighborhood as one. Oh yeah, and we're going somewhere too. Even with how short the time you spent indoors was, the sun was momentarily blinding once you left the house. Squinting, you brought your hand up to shield your eyes. The pleasant summer day had yet to go away, only a few wispy clouds drifted along in the sky. As you strolled down the way, Liz took the lead, followed by you and Cove walking side by side. 𝐳∨ freely took to walking in the middle of the road, his arms idly swinging back and forth at his sides as he turned his head every which way to take in as much as he could. It was very much a trip down memory lane for him. You wondered how much the neighborhood had changed in his eyes. Not a word passed between the group about where you were heading first, but soon enough you found yourselves walking the usual path to the shopping street. Before you reached it, the sounds of it did. A collective of sandals tracking sand, the shrill calls of seagulls, the overlapping conversations of beachgoers, and random strains of music from various stalls. Wow! The odd gasp came from 𝐳∨. His eyes were all lit up. Was there always so many different stores in one place? Yeah, of course. Wow, I can see so many people come here. Or I can see why. Hey, do they still have those nice little ice cream stands? Oh, no way! Oh my god. Do you guys remember that moment in step 1 where me and 𝐳∨ got ice cream and then I think Cove ended up getting hurt by the grandparents or whatever they're called, the old mean grandparents. Yeah, that hasn't changed. Yay, we should get some. It'll be my treat. Thanks, 𝐳∨. Ice cream sounds perfect on such a hot day. How about you, Cove? You can see that was unlike Liz. Cove was struggling with the decision, brow wrinkled in thought. Finally, a hesitant smile appeared on his face as he settled on keeping to the spirit of the special occasion. Yeah, sounds good to me. Awesome. And Mina? Yeah. I'll buy one for me and one for you, 𝐳∨. Oh, alright. What? 𝐳∨'s voice rose an octave, so taken off guard that you would offer such a thing. You never let me do anything for you when we were kids. Now that you're here to visit, you've gotta let me treat you for a change. Aw, that's really sweet. Red-faced, 𝐳∨ gave a helpless chuckle. Alright, I'd like it a lot if you paid for me. You were pleased to hear that. 𝐳∨ was still his overly generous self, but not everything was the same. If it had been that time from when you were kids, the two of you might have gone back and forth on this forever. Liz not so subtly settled, I don't know how to say the word, up to you, her shoulder bumping against yours with a smirk. What a goody two-shoes. You rolled your eyes at the childish insult, but you knew she didn't mean it. She was happy to see you getting along with 𝐳∨. The 4 of you continued to walk as ice cream plans were further discussed. Are you getting a popsicle, Lizzie? Yes. Hearing that, 𝐳∨ smiled shyly. I thought you might I thought you might still like that. Lord, I cannot talk. I'm gonna get an ice cream cone. 𝐳∨ began to turn towards Cove, but before he could ask, Cove offered up his choice. I'll get an ice cream sandwich. I'm gonna get... Oh, what did we get? I'm gonna get an ice cream cone. 𝐳∨ had the right idea for this one. It was the best choice. There was an ice cream stall further up the street, across from a souvenir shop displaying postcards of the seaside and saltwater taffy in its windows. The stand itself was already hard to miss with its pastel pinks and blues and its eye-catching poster boards listing every individual flavor. It was impossible to ignore once the catchy little jingle playing from its speakers was added. 𝐳∨ greeted the owner and began picking out the treats that everyone had chosen. He paid for the others, stepping aside to let you buy his as he handed the rest out to their respective owners. You picked out your choice too and added that to your purchase. Sinking your teeth into the ice cream cone, you relished the sweet chill left in your mouth. Liz was right. This was a perfect treat for a summer day. Around you, everyone was eating at their own pace. Liz held her popsicle away from herself, careful not to let it drip onto her dress. She was trying to go about eating it as delicately as she could while Charlie dug into his. You counted only 2 or 3 bites before Cove had devoured his sandwich. Charlie laughed, also noticing the way Cove inhaled his food. It's already finished? Cove shrugged a little in reply, his attention more focused on crumpling up the sandwich wrapper in his hand. So what have you been doing around here since I've been gone? Well, I already told you about me attending college away from here, so I don't really live here anymore. But to be more specific on my life, I'm pursuing a degree in architecture. Charlie perked up at that, his mouth falling open in awe. Amazing! Thanks. Actually, I was thinking about it, and the first time I really decided I liked buildings and building them was when you and I would make sandcastles out on the beach. Aw, Lizzie. Oh my god, these two are so cute. I love these two. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. At such a sincere admission from your sister, all Charlie could do was blush and lower his head, too flattered to know what else to say. Liz laughed, just as flustered as though she had been the one to say it. The atmosphere was awkward but not unpleasant. Charlie glanced over at you and Cove. Then what about you two? What have you been up to? Oh. Me and Mia just graduated. High school, I mean. I've got a part-time job. I volunteer at this organization to clean up stuff. Things like that. That's a secret. Highly classified information. Can't go around casually revealing it, you understand. Cove laughed at that, giving a slight shake of the head. Charlie just seemed happy to hear it. Great. Being around him again was like a little like picking up an old forgotten habit. Clunky at first, but as the four of you talked, it started to come more naturally. But when one of you ran out of things to say, suddenly someone else remembered something new. Oh right, do you remember those mean old, not actually grandparents that used to live in our neighborhood? Yeah, they were so mean. Well, they're not here anymore. Oh no! They're not spending summers here anymore. They're still alive. Thank goodness. Oh, I love this. I need the smiles. I need this. It helped that Charlie was just as eager to hear what had gone on in his absence as people were to tell him. Soon everyone threw out what trash they had in a nearby garbage can as your group made their way down to the beach. Going down the shore inevitably led to a certain spot. It didn't take very long for Charlie to recognize what was in the distance. His words churned off in the middle of a sentence, his footsteps faltering at first. Then all at once he broke away from the group and dashed right into the old park, aww, giggling as he ran. Oh, everything's so small! His laughter petered out as he came to a stop by the swings and grabbed hold of one of the support poles. He walked in a little circle around it, marveling at how easily his hand wrapped around it its entirety. Emboldened by Charlie's enthusiasm, Liz plopped herself down on one of the swing sets, only to instantly show an expression of regret. There was no way she was comfortable in that tiny seat so low to the ground, not with how she had to scrunch her legs up her legs to fit there. Charlie creeped up behind her. He took hold of one of the chains of her swing, one in each hand. What are you doing? And with a grin, Charlie started walking back. Liz shifted in her seat to look at him. You could not be trying to push me. These are made for kids. It's never gonna work. But Charlie just hummed and kept pulling her back. Resigning herself to her fate, Liz tucked her legs up as much as possible as Charlie moved his hands to her back. With a running start, he got her forward and up as far as he could go before jumping out of the way. Liz had her hands squeezed shut, a screech escaping her as the swing started falling backwards, and when it swung back around, there was Charlie who began to push her. Oh my god. She couldn't get the ground like when we were kids. Her legs were too long for that now, but Charlie was pressing her enough to keep the momentum going. The air was filled with their wild laughter and the almost rhythmic jangle of the swing chains. Oh my god. Cove sat against the bars of the jungle gym wearing a bent smile as he watched them. He was fiddling with something, turning it over and over in his hands. When you craned your neck to get a better view, he obligingly lifted it for you to see. It was a piece of a shell, one side rough and molted gray, the other side completely smooth, revealing a faint blue sheen when it caught the light. I saw it on the beach. It's nice, isn't it? Yeah, it's a good one. No, I meant Shiloh. He seems calm confident than I remember. You found it amazing to be playing with Shiloh again. Let's be real! None of us expected this. I don't think I'll ever forget this. Cove nodded, leaning back to enjoy the breeze blowing in from the sea. Soon your sister began to speak out. Alright, I'm ready to get off now. How do you stop this? Don't worry. Shiloh braced himself, one foot planted forward as the swing started coming back down. Then in one quick motion, he reached up and caught the chains again. The impact had his feet skidding back in the sand, but he kept his stance steady. If Liz was surprised at suddenly being brought to a halt, she didn't show it, only tilting her head up to smile at him. Shiloh had yet to catch his breath, though returned the smile just as brightly. He let go of the chains, walking around the swing set and briefly rubbing his hands together before offering one to Liz, which she graciously accepted, needing the help to get out of the tiny seat. Then the two of them made their way back over to you and Cove. Liz was looking more ruffled than usual, and her sun hat was off kilter, having held on for dear life for the entire ride. She took a moment to straighten her outfit back into place. That looked like fun. It was! Even though you were pushing me on the swings. Yep, that was the fun part. Oh my god. Huh. Hey Shiloh, you've got an idea of what our lives have been like since you've been gone, but I've been wondering what happened to you after you moved away. Shiloh's eyes went wide, as if it was surprising to hear. You couldn't recall him talking about himself when you were all telling stories, so maybe he hadn't been able to find the right timing. He brought his hand to his chin, tapping it thoughtfully as he looked up and to the side. Well, what happened was my mom decided to move back to the south, closer to where I was born. We stayed there for a few years until she got another job offer in California, again thanks to a connection she had here. It was a really good job at a private boarding school, so she decided to take it. Ooh, that sounds good. With a wide grin, he said the next part. And as a bonus, her kid, me, gets to attend the school and live in the dorms for free. I've been there since my second year of middle school. Pretty soon, I'm going to be starting my last year of high school. Liz leaned towards him with an attentive smile on her face. Have you been doing well there, getting good grades, got any friends? At the list of questions, Shiloh held his hands in front of himself as if they were physical things he could stave off. Yeah, to everything. It can be a little hard sometimes because of how people are in that school, but I'm happy. How people are? Cove couldn't guess what that meant, but Liz folded her arms, scowling. Don't tell me there's more people like that Nate guy hanging around. Oh god. Shiloh rubbed at his cheek, laughing nervously. He glanced from the bars of the jungle gym to the laces of his shoes to the train swing in the distance, unsure where to rest his gaze. Not exactly, but Nate doesn't mean to be mean. He just kind of is. He's the school #1 performer for athletics and academics. He always takes on so much responsibility that the only possible way he can finish it all is if absolutely nothing goes wrong. But that's impossible because he's always stressed and ready to snap. He can't handle it when someone seems to be causing a problem. That's why during the field trip he was upset when I went off my own like that. Still, he's really smart and reliable and sensitive, and he cares a lot. Most of the time he doesn't even realize his way of dealing with stuff upsets other people. Cove had a patient smile on his face, listening earnestly as Shiloh rattled off his list of Nate's good traits. You know him pretty well. Are you actually friends? Well, not exactly. Me and Nate are in the same after-school group. About once a month, me, 6 other students, and a supervisor get together to talk. We did it all of last year, and I think next year we're going to be in the same group again. I hope so. I'm glad Nate's not so bad after all. Yeah, he sounds pretty fine. Especially since Charlie might have been in the same school after group as him next year. Liz shook her head at your words. It would take much more for her to be convinced of Nate's upstanding character. Personally, I still appreciate having a word with Nate about his communication skills. Her tone of voice was low and pointed. You'd be worried for Nate if not for the playful smile that accompanied her words. Charlie let out a little laugh at that. I do have Nate's number, but he wouldn't pick up. The people in my group only answer when they feel like hearing from me, so usually I have to wait for them to call. Either that or they never even consider answering my calls, or calling me, or talking to me at all unless the supervisor forces them to. It was such a bleak description of his dynamic from his group that he didn't seem to realize it until he glanced up and saw the concerned looks on everyone's faces. His smile fell. He hastened to add one more thing. Well, except for one who'll always answer for sure. Oh? She immediately perked up.
Really?
So that's a friend of yours? He hesitated to answer, something Cove picked up on. Not exactly. Yeah, I'd like to be friends though. Alright. Les crossed her arms together once more, grin faced like she was the commander of a ship about to lead her little crew into battle. You should call them right now. What? If you want to be friends with them, I can help. If they're going to be in the same group again, then you should at least try to get along. No, I couldn't. He quickly grew flustered, his tongue stumbling over his sentences. I don't want to be a bother. Liz, what are we gonna do? Watch him while he talks to someone on the phone? No, Cove, 𝐕𝐤𝐬𝐬. The last syllable of 𝐕𝐤𝐬𝐬's name trailing off into nothing, it soon became clear that Liz had not fully thought out the plan yet, but she wouldn't be Liz if she just stopped right there. 𝐕𝐤𝐬𝐬 could put them on a video call and we could all talk together, of course. She clapped her hands together, a wide smile on her face that didn't leave room for dissenting opinions. It's a good idea. It'll work. That's honestly a terrible idea. 𝐕𝐤𝐬𝐬, you don't have to listen to her. Oh, alright. Liz sent you a roll of her eyes, as if you were the one with the ridiculous idea. Come on, 𝐕𝐤𝐬𝐬, we'll just talk to them. Say they were your friends from out of town. The worst that could happen is nothing changes. But once they have more chances to talk to you, I know they'll be convinced to be better friends. It's going to turn out okay. 𝐕𝐤𝐬𝐬 stalled to answer, but his hand was already hovering over one of the pockets of his pants. Alright, we can talk. Yes! Oh god, who are you calling? Liz clenched a hand into a fist, cheering as 𝐕𝐤𝐬𝐬 officially reached into the pocket and pulled out his phone. You noticed it was the same type of model as your own, but his had a red case around it. The screen lit up and 𝐕𝐤𝐬𝐬 requested a video call with some number in his contacts. None of them on the list had names. He must remember what number belongs to what person. He inched closer to the three of you as everyone could hear better. Vaguely, you wondered how this looked from the outside. 4 teenagers on the verge of adulthood hanging out at an old playground, all hooded up around a single phone. Strange, suspicious, yeah. The ringing of the phone broke you out of your musings. You kept your eyes on it, your heart speeding at the end of each dial tone, thinking, could this be it, only to have another startup? It had been ringing for a while when you started to think of what Cove said, about all of you watching as 𝐕𝐤𝐬𝐬 talked on the phone. Maybe even that wouldn't happen. 𝐕𝐤𝐬𝐬 could sense the awkwardness in the air, smiling to try to dispel it. This is normal, don't worry. Just as he said it, the call ended, not even going to voicemail. 𝐕𝐤𝐬𝐬 clicked to redial. He never answers on the first call. He always does on the second. That's how he is, at least with most people. There are exceptions. You, Liz, and Cove furtively shared ambiguous looks, none of you wanting to accidentally discourage 𝐕𝐤𝐬𝐬. Then you focused on the phone again as it started to ring once more. The jingling suddenly cut off in the middle, followed by the faint sound of white noise. With a big smile and flushed cheeks, 𝐕𝐤𝐬𝐬 brought the phone up to his face. A voice low and groggy came rasping out of the speakers. Hello? 𝐕𝐤𝐬𝐬, on the other hand, was much more chipper. Hi, I'm visiting a town I used to live in when I was little, and I wanted to introduce my group mate to the people I knew back then. Some of them have already met Nate. Can you say hey to them too? And without a rushed introduction, 𝐕𝐤𝐬𝐬 stuck the phone out towards Cove, gesturing for him to greet the person on the other end. Although Cove hadn't been on board in the beginning, the only indication of that now was a loop-sided tilt of his smile. He turned his gaze down to the screen, opening his mouth to speak, only to stutter to a complete stop. What? Huh? What's wrong? All Cove could do was sputter and gape at the screen. His reaction had 𝐕𝐤𝐬𝐬's brow crinkling in worry. What? 𝐕𝐤𝐬𝐬's groupmate didn't sound particularly impressed with how this conversation was going so far. 𝐕𝐤𝐬𝐬 frowned, retracting his arm away from Cove as he did so. The screen tilted towards you and you caught a glimpse of what was on the screen. Oh my... Wait. Hold on. What? Oh my god, we're leaving today's episode here, everyone. Oh my god. No way. There's no way. No. There's no way. No. Alright, we're leaving off today's episode here, everyone. Cause Wait, hold on. Oh my god. That's Jeremy. Oh my god, it's been so long. Wow, you look different. Oh my god. Well, guess what? We're ending today's episode here. Okay, everyone. Yeah, we're gonna leave today's episode here because I like leaving it on cliffhangers, and yeah. Alright, everyone, but that's all for today's video. Hope you all enjoyed it. But lastly, you're Jonah. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye.